going to tell you. Either way, I'll move on. Now, given that Derek's case is somewhat of an extraordinary well, let me say this. You testified that he was a high profile, right?
Yeah, he's a high profile inmate based off of, our criteria.
Okay.
How you get coverage, this coverage, any kind of, I would say like, publicized coverage, consistent publicized coverage. We may see fit that, he be placed in some kind of protective like custody to make sure that he's safe.
You also said on Friday the 1st that he was somewhat more vulnerable because of his high profile status, right?
You said what now?
You testified on Friday the 1st of December that he was somewhat more vulnerable because of his high profile status. Do you remember that?
I just know this, with him being a, high publicized inmate, him having the charges that he's accused of having, from a safety and security standpoint, we would do our best to make sure that that individual is housed appropriately and that, we're going to do our best to make sure he's not harmed and make sure that, he's secure.
Wouldn't your best be knowing what the statute requires you to do? Wouldn't that be step one?
That may be, ma'am, but, at this current time, through the spotlight, I don't know what that statute that you're referring to will be, but, I know this, that with Mr. Rosa, we're doing everything that we can to house him appropriately and make sure that he's not harmed or hurt and make sure that he gets everything that he needs to get.
Wouldn't step two maybe be review the logs that you so confidently testified to?
Well, like I said, those logs are reviewed, but they're also filed away, and there's a lot of 10-minute check sheets that we have going with Mr. Rosa and the juvenile population. So, being put on that spotlight right now with that's probably something that we will assign somebody to do in the near future.
That's great. How many times have you testified in court, sir?
This would be my second time, the first being my first.
So the 1st of December was the first time you testified under oath?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what that meant?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. Unless you have some reason to believe he doesn't understand what his oath means in this courtroom now.
Wouldn't you think that it would be important to be truthful while under oath?
Again, objection, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
You may answer the question, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you hear me? Or yes, ma'am, you would think it's important to be truthful under
Yes,
oath?
ma'am. I mean, you're on the oath. Yes, ma'am.
So why would you lie to my colleague?
It's important to always be truthful.
Okay, why would you lie to
And
Mr.
before you go
Lewis?
ahead and start accusing a witness of lying, why don't you lay out in questions what you believe you're trying to prove here, if you would.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Do you remember on Friday the 1st, Corporal Wims, when you were asked two specific questions, one being Derek Rosa's level of security? Do you remember that question?
No, ma'am. Refresh my memory if you can.
You were on Zoom. I was also on Zoom. And my colleague was here present in the courtroom. One of the first questions he asked you was, what is Derek Rosa's level of security? I don't know what means, sir. Do you remember being asked that question?
No, ma'am.
Do you remember someone being in your office when you answered that question?
Yeah, I remember being in my office. I was in my office for the whole testimony.
Do you remember somebody else, a female, being in your office when you answered that question?
I clearly tried to clear this up for you. I'm not sure if you were listening or, the gentleman that was questioning me was listening, but literally we were in this whole testimony thing for hours. Someone dropped off a plate of food for me and they left the room. As far as coaching me up and being present and all this other stuff, I'm not sure what drew you to that conclusion, but ma'am, you're wrong.
Well, sir, you've testified to coaching. I haven't mentioned coaching at all.
Once again, I'm not sure where you get that from, man, but someone brought me something to eat, if that was okay for you.
My question is, do you remember that person being in your office when you testified to Derek Rosa being a level 2?
I remember someone bringing me something to eat, man.
Well, you don't remember at what point?
I remember someone bringing me something to eat.
Is that a no, sir?
I'm strictly telling you that I remember someone bringing me something to eat while I was doing this testimony.
Do you remember that person giving you the answer and then you relaying the answer to Mr. Lewis?
Once again, man, someone brought me something to eat and left the room.
Sir, it's a yes or no. I'm not asking you about your food. I'm not asking you when you
Okay,
ate.
so I'm answering that question by telling you that someone brought me something to eat and left the room. If there was any kind of coaching that you assume happened, then that would be no.
I'm not asking you about coaching. I'm asking you
I'm going to say it has been
specifically.
answered, Your Honor.
It has not been answered, Judge. It's a yes or no question. If he can't answer it, just say I can't answer the question.
I kind of feel like you're not listening to what I'm saying.
All right, that's it.
Okay?
As I get it, ma'am, it says somebody dropped him off some food.
Okay?
Let's move on from here.
Actually, Your Honor, may I take a 1 minute, can we go slide over, please?
Okay, on the record, please.